accounts in two places. That's why you create a balance sheet. If it doesn't balance, you know the flow is being cheated somewhere. But there are smart people even in India who knew how to cheat on both sides. Satyam, for example. Okay, so double entry accounting also did not solve the problem. Now just imagine a situation when you had 100 plus records of it, written the same thing. So you can't cheat now. You can't go find out, especially in 100 places where you don't know what is written. That's what a blockchain enables. We call it a distributed ledger technology. Satoshi Nakamoto developed this, and hence the way we transact is going to change. When we write something onto a blockchain, I don't know where it gets recorded. I don't know how many copies of it are there. I want to change, I can't change it. So if something originates from a blockchain, I can trust it. Okay, that's the core understanding that we require. Now what we're really looking at is human interaction. Human interaction and market forces, as we say. Generally, people tend to think of it as supply and demand. Right? That's really on the surface. It's not supply and demand, it's greed and fear. Markets operate because of greed and fear. That's where the beauty is going to start happening. Once I don't need to know that person in the electronic and digital technology come to the stage where I can just look at the reputation of the driver and decide, do I want to go in this Uber or Ola? Do I want to eat food in this restaurant or not? That mechanism is there, which can't be tampered. You won't be able to pay somebody to do a food rating. These things, when it comes into supply chain, which people are working on and will definitely come, is when the magic starts happening. Also, I would say blockchain has enabled something else. And one more minute on that part, please. Money is getting programmable. That's a new thing. India is at the forefront of this work. We call it CBDCs, digital currency, central bank's digital currency. I can pay you that money, and you can use it only to buy fertilizers. This is a current experiment happening. You cannot use it for anything else. I give money to the farmer, he can use it only for his child's education. I can give some money, he can use it only for healthcare. Why am I seeing the beauty happening and where do I see the future heading? Because it's simple. The problem today we all face is, I'm willing to pay more money for my tomato or apple or any vegetable, but it doesn't reach the farmer. Right? That's the problem I'm faced with. But imagine a situation where there's a QR code, I scan it, there's an escrow mechanism behind that, X percentage goes to the farmer, price minus X goes to the retailer, and whatever else to the transporter. The technology for creating this absolutely exists today in India. The integration is going to happen. People are already working on this. The more money can reach to the farmer, he will not spray unnecessary pesticides, he will not do wrong practices or whatever else. The real change that blockchain and these allied technologies will really bring in, when the nature of money changes and he gets money, he doesn't have to be shortcut. He will live a respectable life, he will practice good things. I believe India is at the forefront of this. Besides learning all the subjects that you are learning, please learn these things.
Thank you, sir. It was very interesting. Just one follow-up question to that, sir. Typically in other industries, product is definable and it exists as a package. But if you look at agri, typically I think more than 80% of the produce and grains are still dealt with in loose quantities only. Does that give a challenge from a blockchain implementation point of view?
So that's where the magic begins. It will take a long journey. You should not expect that tomorrow the world is going to be different and everything is going to change.
Something is packaged, it means then it becomes easier.
What we do is, see, you got to develop an identity to it. Like Aadhaar, we all got used to it. I'm an identity, so my phone is linked, my bank is linked, my PAN card is linked, everything is linked. Like that farmers produce, let's say he's produced packaged rice, okay, Kala Namak variety. It's a GI rice, high value, coming from a certain region, has certain properties. Packaged and an identity developed on that, and that travels through all of them. Today we are not yet doing it a pack house. What's going to happen is the Indian agriculture industry and rural industry is going to have something called pack houses. Whatever is being grown will come there, and it's packed, clean, graded, packed, and identified. So that's how when I make a payment, it will go to that person. Like I give a tip in the hotel to the waiter who's given me good service, I read this QR code and it says this farmer do it organically. This farmer is from my village, so I want to help you. This farmer is whatever, automatically transferred, he doesn't know it. And so the extra 2 rupees or 5 rupees or 10 rupees or 100 rupees, whatever I can direct, we go to his account. And I can say he will use it for his daughter's education. as internet. We find it a very difficult story. It's being envisioned in India by many people.
The targeted interventions and ensuring that there is accountability at every point so that people don't have incentive to cheat or even leeway to cheat. Those are some interesting thoughts I take away from this blockchain application. I want to Dr. Ramesh, perhaps, and sir, you spoke a lot about IoT, IoT, from a because the topic is also around the climate change. From an energy consumption point of view, how do you, I'm sure there are ways of IoT helping. How does it estimate how much energy is being consumed, monitor, and also actively intervene to reduce the energy?
The energy footprint one is about monitoring, tracking, and reducing, but other option would be to shrink it, just use as less energy as possible. One of them in the supply chain, we see we have the first mile and last mile. First mile is the production part of it. Last mile is the distribution and where it reaches the consumer. If we can reduce the consumption at the source itself, as I said, you mentioned the production of food at the source, which was saying farm to fork instead of farm next to fork. You have to you can shrink the distance completely. There is a lot of that happening on the IoT side, which can enable actually. For example, in Organising, they have a project called Tomatoes, where they are growing several tons of tomatoes, we discussed, automatically growing, but they are all several $1 billion, very, very costly, very power consuming. So if we can look at, as Indians, when we can launch satellites at the cost which countries used to make movies, why can't we do that here? We are known for doing frugal engineering, low-cost engineering. If we can try to use IoT to solve problems specific to us, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of energy saving. In fact, we are going to shrink the supply chain completely. Having said that, this cannot be a solution for all of food. It can be only for vegetables and fruits and short-term thing. So we will also have cereals like rice and wheat, which has to be produced in mass. For that, we can have the last mile connectivity, where we can use predictive analytics to ensure that the quality of the produce is maintained. For example, we have RFID tags now, which comes with temperature sensors. Temperature is a very good marker for the quality of food. If we can use analytics to predict the quality of food for the time it reaches, so that is an area that we can do. Of course, traceability is another thing that we can do using analytics. So these are the points I would like to mention or focus upon. There is a great opportunity for us to solve problems specific to our country, being frugal, to be able to solve in terms of being optimal. That's all I have to say.
Very interesting, sir. So, I mean, we have to go one step beyond what the West has done. We have to also be frugal about doing it. But also, I think the other point you mentioned is about there is a supply-demand mismatch in terms of where it is grown versus, and probably we may add when it is grown also and where and when it is consumed. If that can be aligned as close as possible, then naturally it leads to a large reduction in consumption, less protein. Very interesting thoughts, sir. I just want to talk to Krishna Kumar, or this must be something close to his work as well. From a, I believe you do environmental aspect, so from a geographical information systems point of view, because we see a lot of work happening
we can schedule certain activities very in advance, so that those measures can be taken, and you can see the supply chain is really very badly done, and it won't be under losses. Earlier days we did not have much data. Data was the cause of concern, but nowadays we have got enormous data, massive quantities of data available in the internet and the like. Thanks to the machine learning, thanks to artificial intelligence, thanks to the advanced data analytics, we could be able to now realize how the data can be used and used for decision making. In case of what used to happen earlier, because of data was not available, this supply chain was just a hub of some of the activities. But now we have to develop the innovative business models or innovative businesses to that can help in reducing threats or reducing disruptions, reducing delays in supply chain. With the satellite data, imagery, radar system, and some of the remote sensing tools, and integrating with the sensors like IoT sensors or with the sensors, IoT, GPS sensors, and all, we can be able to track the transportation systems. We can, on the fly, we can change the routes, or we can inform to change the routes, or on the fly, we can tell them that their particular warehouse is available, where data can be, where they can store the various commodities and avoid disruptions or delays. From there only the distribution can happen, rather than bring it to the industry or something. In addition to that, you can also, GIS can be integrated with the enterprise systems. With that, it is possible to visualize where is the supply chain, right from the point of supply of the raw materials till it reaches the consumers. We can trace the flow of materials. It is also possible to integrate the GIS with the inventory management systems, and we can know at various places of distribution point or from supply point where what is the inventory, and we can supply well in advance the necessary materials or feedstocks for processing it on. We can also integrate this GIS with spatial data, historical sales data, and we can also forecast the demands and the like. What I will tell you is the threat intelligence is one of the important areas where the food sector is a little bit suffering, in the sense that threat intelligent people or experts, that threat intelligence needs to be groomed so that they are not only, nowadays we get there is a rain, it is going to be rainfall, it is going to be dust, it is going to be some hurricane, it is going to be storm. But how to utilize this data? After all, the data is available, but well in advance data is available. But how to utilize the data and reduce the threats and disruptions, delays due to the weather? Because the disruptions occurs either due to human or due to the weather conditions. So weather conditions, whatever disruption that takes place, can be controlled to some extent by analyzing the data, developing threat intelligence systems, and the likes. That's what I wish to tell you. And thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. I think what you are saying is something. Now there is a lot of data available, exactly, and it is started getting analyzed. We started analyzing it also, but maybe providing it in a very user-friendly form for people to use is something. I mean, maybe it will start happening in the next.
It is in the juvenile period. It is a very small scale.
floods or pestilence or other geographical disputes causing disruption in routes, etc. So this resilience becomes extremely important. How can so decision making has to be much more dynamic. Any closing thoughts on how this can be built in, or this can be facilitated using AI?
So people studying and working deeply on supply chain will understand this what's called the bullwhip effect. Between the producer and consumer, there are multiple effects. 2, 3, 4, 6, sometimes 10 models. What really happens is the behavior of each person affects the end price, whether for the farmer or for the consumer. Both ways. Understanding how they behave and what constraints they behave is something that one needs to model. I mentioned in the last time saying really markets work out of greed and fear. आज लगता है कि 200 रुपए का टमाटर चल रहा है, मैं कुछ बेच दूं तो करोड़ रुपए कमा लूंगा आज. That's greed. आज 200 चल रहा है, हाथ जल जाएगा, नहीं लेना है. That's fear. At any given price point, be it 10 rupees, be it 100 rupees, there is greed, there is fear. How? So we already started using AI and ML, mapping human language. Most of you would have tried with ChatGPT. We know what he's going to say next. एक शब्द आ गया तो उसका next शब्द क्या रहेगा, we predict it. AI and ML will be used to predict behavior of these intermediaries. Now technically we should not speak of these intermediaries being eliminated away. They will never add value. But when AI and ML is used to understanding data, I mean precisely Procter & Gamble brought in and documented this bullwhip effect for baby diapers business of its nearly 100 years ago. So all these established large companies know and survive and thrive and build on this data to solve the bullwhip effect problem. In the bullwhip effect problem, how you deploy AI to understand behaviors, you will get your business. Nobody says it will always be stable. The nature of market is always to go up and down. If somebody is saying they're going to keep it stable, they're fooling themselves. Nobody's interested in that. Stay in market. But how much it will go up, how much it will go down, that's something that the insiders know. Now system will.
Thank you, Dr. Rahul, please. I'm agree whatever you are saying. Food technology and agriculture, these are the fields which were just adapted the AI approaches, AI technologies. For example, if you are talking about the how the supply of particular product, for example, drone technology is coming. Food is now delivering in certain places of India as well as in the US. The pizza delivery is there. Even smart self-aware robots are there. Now they are replacing the humans. So, for example, the robots they are detecting the disease in plants. In the soil, they are detecting the what type of pH is there, moisture is there, and farmers are now getting smart decisions from the AI devices. So, in the earliest years, the farmers are not aware of what type of seeds I put into the field, because my soil is black or a sandy or whatever type of quality is there. But now the machines are detecting, analyzing the soil quality, and after that they are getting the results from the machines, even if I'm saying from the AI, they are getting the results, and on the basis of the results, farmers are taking decisions and they are getting the good amount of money from that. So what I'm trying to say that now we are competitive of the AI, and lots of distance we have to cover in the field of the agriculture and food technology. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So I hope everybody got
for the movement. And thank you very much. I think it was very interesting discussion that was going on, because now in agriculture-based country where supply chain is improving day by day with improved infrastructure, road infrastructure, trade infrastructure. Now there is a emergent need that instead of taking manual decisions, we need to take the help of advanced technologies, and because the volume that is under the supply chain at present is not easy to control. So we need decision-taking capabilities using AI and IoT and other advanced technologies. So it was very nice discussion that was going on, sir. Thank you. I know that time is very short, but we thank all our speakers and the panelists who have participated in this program. For further proceeding, I would like Dr. Neeraj to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Notwithstanding between the lunch, and I just quickly would like to invite Professor Anupma Singh, Dean Faculty Affairs, for the felicitation ceremony. And I would also request Dr. Kulkarni sir to kindly join us on the stage for the ceremony. Dr. R.P. Patil. Patil sir, please join us on the felicitation ceremony. This ceremony also includes the presents for the results of poster presentation that we had today and tomorrow. So the award ceremony will go along during this part. So we request Dr. Ramesh Kasoor, Professor, Department of Computer Science, IIIT Bangalore, to kindly join us. Please put your hands together in the on the stage. I would request Mr. Vignesh to kindly join us, and requesting the senior people to felicitate Mr. Vignesh from Bekul. Requesting Mr. Jagdish to kindly join us. Dr. Navi, please. I would request Dr. Prasanna Kumar. So now it's time to come to the award ceremony for the poster presentations. I would like to invite for third place Vasthala V from IRI. I would request Dr. Veem to kindly join us for this presentation ceremony, and I would also request Professor Sunil Parikh for coming to the stage for this award ceremony. For the second prize, we have Ms. Navjot Kaur from CIFIT. नहीं, certificate सारे आपके पास। Please put your hands together for the first award. Mrs. Charu Agnihotri from NIFTEM. I would request the reporters of the session to kindly join us on stage. I would request reporters of this session to kindly join us on stage. Nima sir, we also have a group photograph. Kindly stay back for a group photograph altogether. I request all the panelists, moderators and our session speakers and please for a group photograph.
ठीक है सर, ठीक है।
Before we break for lunch, I would request Professor Anupma Singh, Dean Faculty Affairs, NIFTEM, for closing remarks, followed by national anthem. Anupma ma'am, please for closing remarks.
I am on behalf of NIFTEM fraternity, want to extend my deepest gratitude to all of you for your active participation, insightful contribution. Past 1.5 days, we have immersed ourselves into thought-provoking discussions, explored solutions. I think that will undoubtedly provide meaningful solutions. The theme of the conference that has been thoroughly covered through panel discussions, highlighting both the challenges that we face and the immense opportunities that lie ahead. As we heard from many of our speakers, panelists, the key messages emerging from the sessions, I am going to sum up very quickly. The conference was structured under 5 themes and there were total 10 lead talks, 5 panel discussions and 1 poster session. The key messages emerging from the session are: the session 1 covered climate change and food sector, including correlations. Highlights of the session are: strategies and policies are required for improving livestock production under climate change stress. Non-conventional feeding sources must be explored for sustainable growth of the livestock. A robust system is required for greenhouse gas mapping. New climate resilience fish species can be developed. Second session focused on climate resilient supply chain management of perishables. And highlights of this session are: the horticultural crops grown for processing should have the qualities required for processing. Water utilization, reducing carbon and water footprints, and energy management, efficient energy management has to be given due importance while establishing processing plants and supply chain for perishables. Temperature control, cross-contamination, odor contamination, good hygienic practices and good manufacturing practices need to be considered during processing, value addition and supply chain of perishables. Session 3, this covered on energy efficient storage and cold chain systems. And recommendation of this session are as adoption of proper harvesting, cooling and use of water are the key areas to mitigate the climate change. There is a need to adopt cooling practices at farm level, recycling of water, rainwater harvesting, energy audits, use of alternative energy sources, solar panel for car, van, water heating and other machines. Cold storage facilities at farm gates are the only solution to minimize the environmental threats. And the third one, design, automation, scalability is the key parameter for the adoption of energy efficient machines. Session 4 was on adapting food processing machinery to a changing climate. The highlights were the food industry should be compensated for the losses due to climate change similar to farmers. Productive strategic adoption measures must be taken in a changing climate. Energy efficient technologies, renewable energy integration, water conservation technologies, waste reduction and valorization, smart automation in fertile analytics, climate resilient infrastructure is needed. And circular economy models need to be explored to prioritize resource efficiency and waste reduction throughout the production process. The last session covered, there are 3 more. Efficient processing lines should be built up to avoid food grain wastage, supported by a strong integrated drive system. And incentives by the government for adopting sustainable practices and technologies, incentivizing the digitization, fostering industry academia partnership, need for awareness, food grade stainless steel, strict vigilance so that best practices are followed. Strict regulations for assessment of greenhouse gas emissions of different process products need to be framed. The last session covered advanced technologies for facilitating decision making during supply chain management, and AI technology can be leveraged for efficient supply chain. So with this recommendation, I am pretty sure that these recommendations would be crucial steps toward achieving the conference agenda. I know everybody is starving, so before we all head out, so I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our all keynote speakers, panelists whose expertise and thought-provoking insights have been invaluable. Special thanks goes to our Secretary Madam and Director Sir. We are grateful for their support in the conference and also the future. I also want to acknowledge the incredible efforts of our organizing committee and volunteers, especially our students. And in the closing, I want to express my deepest heartfelt gratitude to one and all who contributed to this conference. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for a comprehensive information for the deliberations we had. Now, before just concluding, I would request all the organizing members for this effect program to join us on stage for a quick group photograph before we conclude the session. All the organizers and reporters who are present here, Team NIFTEM, I request all of us to please here, Dr. Team. And I would request everyone to give a big round of applause for the all hard work they have put behind it. Kindly be quick.
जाओ ना तुम लोग अरे वो अरे आओ जाओ हाँ बिगेस्ट कम कम ये कल ऑलमोस्ट नहीं पता आपको मिलता हूँ चलिए दोन गाडी
Thank you very much. I would request to settle down on your places quickly and I would also request the house to please rise for national anthem. I would request the team for playing the national anthem.
शुभ